Ever wanted to know what is all about statues in Soul Knight? Well, you've come to the right place. Today I'm gonna do a statue tier list ranking every single statue in the game. Statues are the things that gives you an effect or an attack when you use your abilities, such as Assassin's Dashing and Rogue's Rolling. And those are very character dependent, and you can have better picks with every character, and it will be different picks for every one of them. For today's video, I'm just going to rank the overall usefulness for certain effects and certain statues. If you like other things more, I don't mind, but these are just overall, you should pick them over the others. And something they have good combos, such as Rogue with Assassin statue. That's basically overpowered DPS, but I can't say Assassin statue is the number one spot because it has the Rogue's ability. So I will do a little bit on later. I'll do a little bit of explanation upon how you can choose different statues based on your character, but I'll just go through the overall rankings first. At undoubtedly last place, there's really nothing to complain about. It's Engineer statue. Literally, it looks cool, it feels good. You might think it's overpowered AF, but it truly just doesn't do anything. So what it does is it sets 4 bombs slash TNT, whatever you want to call it, besides you, and whether it touches an enemy or waits for a few seconds, it blows up, dealing 10, or if you crit it, it does fire damage. And the true worst thing about this statue is that it literally sets beside you. If it sets a little bit further, I will literally rank this at the number 1 spot, but it sets beside you, and it is legit useless. I can't find footage of me actually hitting an enemy with this thing, else than trying to hit the enemy with this thing. It's not like the Assassin statue where you can just slam and spam, but it's just so damn useless, and it obstructs your vision, doesn't bounce bullets, can't hit an enemy. What good is that? It's just aesthetics. If you really want it, I can't say anything about it, but it is probably the worst statue on this list. At 8th place is just a statue, as useless, maybe not as useless as the Engineer statue, but it's still pretty useless, and you can get yourself in dangerous situations, which is still, it's like a downgrade of your ability. It's the Thief statue. It does damage. It does like okay damage, 3 damage. What can you ask for? It has a big range. It sucks everybody in. I don't know why you need that. Before, it used to suck coins from enemies, where you could just spam it and spawn a bunch of coins. Basically, you want to do your ability every single day, and you can suck a bunch of coins out, but now it doesn't do that. Then why do you even still need it? And it is just so bad. Don't ever pick it. Surely it does increase your movement speed by just that 10%, but so it does a little bit more damage than none by the Engineer statue, but still, it isn't good. You don't need it. You're better off going with no statues than 2 statues that either obstructs your vision and does nothing, or does so little damage and puts you in dangerous situations. Coming in at the number 7 spot in the D tier, I would say it's pretty useful for Rogue and Assassin. It's the statue of Assassin. Well, it is massive DPS when you pair it only with the Rogue or Assassin. Else it does nothing. It literally does nothing. It is basically free 30 DPS every time when you use your ability, and it just doesn't fit as a character as well. You see, you've got the little priest Tess that charges her ability once every 20 hours, and you can only use it once, and what's the fun of that? If you're using the Rogue, definitely number 1. You cannot change. This is number 1 for Rogue. For Assassin, maybe not. But it just doesn't pair well with other people's abilities. And sometimes simplism is better with everybody else except for the damn Rogue. because Rogue is such a skill-based player that you want as much DPS as possible. You can pick it whatever you want, but it just doesn't fit other characters well. So the D tier, well, I have to say it is statue of the elf. And the elf is a pretty underrated statue, I would say. Even much more underrated than I would rank the worst spot, which is the engineer statue. This thing is actually pretty useful. It pushes mobs far away from you, and also it destroys some closer bullets to you. And it can be very cool for someone that is very weak, has low shields, you don't want to lose that much health. It is good for those, but it doesn't do a lot of things like what you would say. And also, it doesn't really do that much damage either. It only does 5. If you're very, very cheeky, you don't want to take any damage, or you just want to be massed around and pushing people everywhere, this is pretty good. Pretty good for you. But if you're a hardcore AF player, you want DPS or such defense that you won't even be able to die, this is, well, not the finest pick, but it's certainly better than the last 3. Next in the spot is the statue I loved. I absolutely love this statue. It's one of the coolest, one of the thickest statues ever, and it is the statue of Berserkers. It's so cool. I can't say anything about it. This basically adds 2 more damage to each bullet you hit and makes them a large AF. They are so cool, but it doesn't certainly add anything so fancy. It's not incredible damage. If you have a really good output weapon and you can use it, and it certainly does damage, but it doesn't fit those kiting playstyles as much, because you still want to, if you want to conserve on mana, you want to shoot more and really conserve on your ability than mana, or you want to just shoot less and just shoot out other projectiles that deal the same amounts of damage when you use your ability and it doesn't cost any mana. So it is not good for conserving, and is not good for kiting playstyles. And also, it makes it hard to hit around corners, which is super annoying because the bullet is so big. When you get stuck beside the wall wanting to dodge some bullets, those bullets are likely going to hit the walls beside you because they're so big. Their hitbox are just large AF, and sometimes is not good. So I would recommend, if you are a mad DPS knight, or, well, you know, Berserker, because it's still a Berserker statue, and it might be really cool. You can create some really cool videos with it. It just looks so savage, and it does add a lot DPS. But I just want to remind you, if you want to extract the most out of this, most out of the statue, you're most likely going to waste a lot of mana and doesn't kite that much off it. So if it's your playstyle, just go pick it every time you want to see it. But if it's not your playstyle, then I don't know, just pick something else. There's a lot of more mad DPS out there that is still better than this DPS that doesn't cost any mana. So there's better choices. You can pick otherwise. Next one, I will put it in the B or C tier. It's a much more of an upgrade for the elf statue and the assassin statue. Well, you know what it is. It's the wizard's statue. It shoots about 8 to 10 projectiles, purple projectiles that home in on enemies, and it has a 4 seconds of CD time. It's really good. It's pretty mad of a DPS. If you got a guy with a pretty slow / fast, it's like pretty medium speed of regeneration of your ability, someone like the assassin, when he's depleted all 3 of his attempts, it can be really useful. Especially, of course, it's really useful on medium CD players like the obvious mage. It is so much DPS. With the shotguns with more bullets, it literally deals like 60 damage on a single ability use, and it doesn't cost any mana, which is perfect for kiting playstyles and everything else. It's just a much better pick for other medium CD characters to deal massive amounts of DPS, and it's just insane. I can't imagine how to use it, but it is so damn insane that it deals pretty good, decent damage on bosses. It's not a shotgun. It's not some lame TNT on the side of you. And it is so good. If it doesn't kill an enemy, it homes in on the next, and you're pretty much guaranteed to hit all the shots everywhere. And it is pretty good. But one really slight issue is it doesn't pair well. It doesn't pair well against abilities because, you know, CDs tend to be very different, and it doesn't pair well against others, and where you might just have to spam other abilities without using it, or you might get a little bit less damage out of because you're a slow CD of the, you know, ability, and it just doesn't pair well. Although it has good damage, I still think it lacks a little bit of other things than the upcoming Fear. Coming in next is what we call the kid statue. It's literally kids. It's a nice statue. How can this be useful, you ask? It's really... once you just see it, basically summons in a, I don't know, few HP knight that's melee and doesn't even do much damage, then why does it like shine so much? Why is it number 3 on this spot? Because it attracts enemy bullets, and it swings his knife to defend bullets when it's approaching for some really odd reasons. I just noticed this like few days ago that they actually block bullets using their swords when they're approaching. And it sometimes gets really cheeky, really cool bounce kills from knights, little knights that you just gave birth to. This is really good, especially if you just want to lay somewhere and just make kids, and those kids are gonna do all the work for you, or even just protect you because they're sworn to do that. And it only lasts on the ground for 20 seconds. You can't really heal them, and yeah, it doesn't provide you that much of a support, but it is cool sometimes seeing 5 children run with you sometimes, and when you use the knight, it looks like you're leading all those allies and you're like a horde against the horde, and it's really cool. You might think I ranked this for nostalgia, but it's not so much of nostalgia. You could just try it, and it's really good. Coming in at our next place, it's between the Paladin statue and the Priest statue, isn't it? And I would say that the Priest statue is way worse than the Paladin statue. Why? Well, the Priest statue is one hell of a good one. If you have double the statue, you can literally gain 60 mana. Just consider that some characters only have 120 mana. That makes you want to F this statue instantly. And, you know, just gonna take it. And it is very supportive for bursty guys like those crazy berserkers and knights out there, and it is, I can't say how useful this thing is, and it is so useful. Number 1, is undoubtedly Paladin statue. It basically has 5 shield. What the F, man? Every time you use your ability, you literally gain invincibility for 1 shot, and it's like the next level of the elves ability. It is so good. It saves you from so much things, so much hassle. I can't explain how good this thing is. Just pick it every time you see it with any character. It has a short CD, not so long of a CD, but a short CD, blocks 1-time damage. What could you ask for? We need to pay 20 gold for, I think, part of invisibility. It is just so good. Pick it every time when you see it. Pick it over. I think you can pick it over the amazing rogue with the overpowered assassin statue. You can pick it over that. I think the Paladin statue is the best statue in the game. So to here, the video really comes to an end. If you have any more suggestions on videos, or if you disagree with my picks or arrangements, you can just comment it down below and subscribe to enter my giveaway. No, I'm just kidding. Please subscribe. I ain't gonna ask for it, but you guys can. And if you have more video ideas, be sure to comment it down below. I don't have time, but I can squeeze some between, well, my daily schedule. So, hope you guys all enjoyed. Peace out.